Hello, everybody. Today I'm starting a new series called Amateur Reviews, and in this first episode, I'll be reviewing the short film Dimensions RP created by the talented Zuthar13. Uh, Zuthar is mostly known for doing Gmod trolls, kind of how he got famous, but recently he started to branch out and do these videos. The most prominent one is the Vulture series, which is a GTA series, and it's great. But enough about that. Let's talk about the film itself. The plot is it's just your first time watching it may be a little confusing. So the plot at first is they find this guy with a cube on his feet, and he immediately makes a story that he's an alien. So he kills him, and it actually starts. He's in an admin state because he did kill the guy. Because this is Gmod after all, and it's Dark RP, so they do that, and you know, and then they start doing that a little bit more to a few more people. And what I love about this movie is just like, even though Zuthar is normally for the most of the movie just the only one in on it, but some of the people, surprisingly enough, actually like participate. Like there's this one guy, Lord Vader, and it's Zuthar and his buddy Captain Dynamic, and Lord Vader. They tell him that there's a cube on his feet, and Lord Vader starts going off about like a tangent how he has all these memories of him being a boy, and then they finally kill him after he tries to kill them first. Lord Vader tries to kill them, and then they actually get the one up on him, and he says how the aliens will invade, and then the plot just ends there pretty much, and then like 7 minutes in, it takes a complete 180. During the intro, Zuthar is sucked into a vacuum of space. I can only announce it as it's like kind of in between dimensions. He's just floating there, and the intro, like, I would say it was boring, but I honestly love the intro. It was just like, it felt shorter than it actually was because how self-aware he is with it. He talks about like, oh, this is going on too long and all that, and oh, this is an homage. And speaking of the intro, I just want to give a quick shout out to Sparky Games for animating it. He did a good job with that. Let's go into what I don't like and like. The first con is it can get a little confusing, as I mentioned before. It's kind of like sometimes some points in the movie you may be confused, especially if this is your first Zuthar video. But I've watched enough Zuthar videos to be used to being a little confused at points. And the biggest flaw to me is how inconsistent it is with the whole hopping to another dimension. Sometimes it'll happen when he dies. Sometimes it'll happen right before he dies. Sometimes it'll happen he dies a couple of times and then it happens. Sometimes it just happens out of nowhere. It's not. It's kind of bothersome, but it doesn't ruin the experience as a whole because there's a lot of pros. One is the humor in this movie. It's, I love the humor. Zuthar has never failed to make me laugh in a video, except in his serious videos. And this is no exception because, like, I'll give an example. So he's on planet Hoth, I think it is, in his second server, which is a Star Wars server. And he even acknowledges the fact that he's on a different planet. And then he says, what planet is this, Nebraska? That's probably not funny with me explaining it to you, but I found it funny the first time. And then there's also the telepathy scene. Telepathy. Why did I? Whatever. Telepathy scene. He's on a server that doesn't allow voice chat, so he just says it's telepathy, and he tries to do it, but he doesn't know how to do it. So he just mashes a bunch of buttons on his keyboard, and it just creates an incoherent just message. And I love that. I think that's amazing. And talking about that, I just want to go into the creativity. It's very it's so creative. He's done the whole server to server idea before. He's done it in the many kinds of RP and the search for the worst server, but in this he's actually attached a plot to it, which I can appreciate. I think that's great. And also of course the telepathy scene. I like how he since there's no voice chat, he has to come up with something different. He says, okay, so everyone has learned to communicate with telepathy. I like that. I think that's what I'm looking for in a Zuthar video. I mean, not exactly that, but just the creativity. And my personal favorite part about this movie is how Zuthar, and I think I mentioned this before, but Zuthar is the only actor in this, pretty much. Sometime, I think at the very end, I'm pretty sure he does have a few of his friends in it at the very end, but throughout, like, the first half hour, actually, I'll say 35 minutes of the movie, he's just on different servers with all these people who, they don't know he's filming film here. They think it's just another day on Dark RP or Star Wars RP or Pokemon RP or whatever he's playing, And I love it because it just makes it feel so real because no one knows what he's doing, especially on the Star Wars server where he said where it's like there's humans over there, that does not look like a human because it's an error sign, so like he's not, which happens if you don't have texture in Gmod, but if I have to explain that. But yeah, it just makes it feel much more authentic, and I love that. The one other thing I want to point out is how, again, he did in the intro with the self-awareness. He says how it's going on too long and thank Christ it ended. And then we get to the end, like, in the last two servers, which is why he's only actor in it through most of the movie. At the very last two servers, there's a bunch of kids chasing him, mic spamming. And I think, well, I mean, knowing the Gmod community, that could be just actual people, but I do actually think those are, he got people in on that one. And then at the very end, you have the think it's a dance studio or something. It's in the bar. What most people make a bar on downtown, and downtown RP. If you don't play Gmod, I would look it up. But and then he's there, and you have a bunch of people there. One of which is Crying Man. He's been in quite a few Zuthar videos, and I like that. I like how he just does a callback, and he also has the band, which is one of the best things I've ever heard. I'm gonna try to. I think I got this right. I might have not, but Authentic Acid Teardrop Metal Death Deluxe Snakes. I mean, just reading that, it's powerful, man. It's so impactful. But that's pretty much it. Now let's just get down to the rating. Final rating, 7 out of 10. I give it a 7 out of 10. It's a very fun film. I don't think there's really any parts that are boring. Maybe the intro. You might be bored by that, but I think it's very funny. There's a lot of humor in it. You're gonna be like, it won't lose your attention. At least it didn't lose my attention. And if I would recommend this if you have like an hour to spare, or an hour to kill, because it will go by fast if you watch this. Because I just had so much fun watching this. It gave me a lot of enjoyment. But yeah, 7 out of 10 is my final rating. I would not recommend this to be your first Zuthar video because, again, it can get a little confusing. But, if you guys want me to do more amateur reviews, comment what you want me to review. Thank you for watching.